it's just this. Hey,
he's not side by side with me yet, but he's creeping up on my right bumper.
I kind of agree with you. It's not going to get the ratings as much when you get to the final game. But if you've got a star player playing on these teams, like you go back to Michigan State and Indiana State. I mean, Indiana State, who the hell are they? Well, they have Larry Bird. You know, it was the one player on a team that was, you know, nobody would think twice of except for the one player. It'd be nice to have that guy. You know, Dwayne Wade with Marquette when he was there. He was the guy. If one of these Cinderella teams has a player that's got the great story, you can latch on to it. And, you know, with Loyola a couple of years ago, it's funny, the story was about Sister Jean. It wasn't even about the players so much. It's
might be about Krautwig this time. This kid Krautwig could be that guy. It was funny because I remember Michigan playing him in the Final Four a couple of years ago, and he gave them problems. He had 17 points in that game. Believe it or not, Gator, I knew somebody in the Loyola athletic department that I was able to go back and find the text that we had at the time. And he texted me about him because I said, you know, how big of a problem is this Krautwig going to be for Michigan? And he said his basketball IQ is through the roof. He's a great passer, really good hands. That was still the case
Curtis
yesterday.
Road, Street.
He's a hell of a personality, as he showed in the post game. But you're right, it might be Sister Jean.
Isn't too shabby.
So yeah, I think for me personally, I'll take 4 number ones. You mix in one Cinderella, and that might be the best thing for ratings. But they probably don't even want that Cinderella playing on number one.
I don't think they do. If most people were honest, they want chaos in the beginning of the tournament because that's why the tournament is the tournament, so exciting. But then when it gets when it gets down to it, they want the powerhouses. You know what I mean? They want chalk at the end.
75.2 miles so far.
Most people hate them. You want to see the Duke versus Kentucky. You know, that's what people tune in for.
Well, because you want it to be a legitimate tournament. I mean, we've argued a lot on the show about whether this is a great way to crown a champion, and Doug and I are on the same page. Don't think it is. In order to kind of give it credibility, you have to have the big teams playing in the end, so that you can say, okay, well, at least this is legit here. We got 2 number 1 seeds or 1 and a 2 seed going at it. I mean, having a 1 seed and a 12 seed for the championship game. I don't know. There's
no-name streets.
A lot of luck that falls that way.
7 miles.
Not to see that.
Well, I will say, I do appreciate everybody tweeting at me all weekend. This is why the tournament's great.
7 miles redone.
Look, I get it. It's entertaining. I am as entertained as you. That doesn't mean I'm not entertaining. 248-539-9797. Champ and Chump. Get those votes in. All right, Gator, you asked a question in your show sheet.
77.
Matt Jones won the Honda Classic over the weekend. He had a 5-stroke lead going into the final hole. And you asked the question, would you be able to close out the win with a 5-stroke lead?
Right, and this guy, he was in the final grouping, too, so it wasn't like there was anybody behind him who had a shot. He literally had nobody near him. 5-stroke lead. He had just driven his ball in a par 5, middle of the fairway, 232 yards out.
So the 18th was a par 5?
Yes.
And you had to keep it under 10 from the tips, from the professional, the blacks, the way back tees, and you have to keep it under 10.
On a professionally set up course, on a Sunday pin placement, and there's a ton of water, and yes, there's some.
But in this circumstance, it's not a full gallon.
Correct, but there was a gallon.
There was a gallon. This is, to be honest, Gator, I think it would be extraordinarily dicey.
Yep. Dude, you see all the water on the right. It's already dicey. I mean,
Wyoming Avenue coming up.
As you want, and you still got a putt. And it was a big green. A lot happened.
I'd love to say, I'm just trying to look up, because I did not watch it. I apologize. But I'm looking at this water. So there's water on the right, and there's water on the left. So there's water everywhere. I would bet against me doing it.
Well, the water on your left really should only come into play if you're going to go for it in 2 or something like that.
Or if I hook it.
Right, yeah. Well, there's that. For the amateurs, got to worry about that. The water on the right is definitely in play for anybody that has a slice, which is, 100% of amateurs have a slice.
Yeah, we've all got that in our bag.
So when I was thinking about this, that's why I wrote in the show sheet, I said, what if we give you the ball 230 yards away? We put you right in the middle of the fairway. Put you in the same situation that Matt Jones was. 230 to the pin.
And
Now you've got
9 shots.
Yeah.
This whole area is redone.
That I feel a little bit more confident about. But I got splashdown written all over my tee shot from the tips. That's a significant carry, and it's not a lot of. That's a small little isthmus. It's an isthmus, Gator, that you have to hit the ball into. In fact, the more I think about it, I bet against me doing it, keeping it under 10 from the tips on this course.
There are some good parts.
Because I can't guarantee I'm not going to hit 2 shots.
You just got to know where to find them.
Right.
And I think most people would be fooling themselves if they think they're keeping it under 10. And the reason I say that is I read that, I think it was in, I don't remember what magazine, but I read a story in a magazine that said reality is almost all amateur golfers can't keep it under 100 if they follow the rules. They say they break 100 all the time, but if you're actually following the rules the way they are written, like a tee shot out of bounds, back to the tee, hitting 3 kind of deal. Like the rules as they are written, not taking a drop 250 yards down the fairway. The way I feel like most guys play it. Whatever the case may be, Gator, I do think most people would not be able to keep it under 3.
I would love to try this. I mean, just thinking
Livernois.
about the different strategy. Like if you actually had a bet on this thing, and your buddies got together, hey, $1,000 says you can't do it. You put, like, okay, I'll give it a shot. How conservative would you be? Like off the tee, are you hitting an iron off the tee?
Can I carry the water with an iron? What's the carry? Because
I don't think the water. I think the water was just all on the right. I don't think it was any carry.
Well, I'm looking at an overhead view, and it looks like there's carry to where you need to hit, to where you need it to land.
I mean, I feel pretty confident with a 3-wood that I could keep it out of trouble.
You might be able to.
But then from that point on, okay, so now I'm 300 yards away, if not more, probably 330 yards away. And now I've got 9 shots to get them. Okay, how am I going to do this now? I'm not swinging another wood. I'm just, you're hitting iron.
7-iron all the way in.
Right. I might even think of just
I don't know
putting.
about that. I would rather use the road.
Swing wildly with a putter to just roll it on the ground and get 100 yards each time to try to get it up there. And then once you're on the green, when you're on the green, now you got to putt. It ain't easy to putt on those courses, man. The step meter's running at 13 and 14, whatever it is. They're fast as hell. They're undulating. They break when you wouldn't believe it. If you run it past the hole, you run the risk of pushing it into the water, or God forbid, an amateur hits it in the sand.
Yeah, the more we talk about this, I'm not sure I could do it if you spotted me 9 shots from 230 right in the middle. It's
kind of sketchy.
I would gack it away. Hey, we'll get to your phone calls on this in a moment. So, we're going to talk to Jared Goff at 12:30. Michael Brockers. Do you remember Michael Brockers? Defensive tackle with the Rams. When the trade was made, he was asked about going from Goff to Stafford, and he said it was a step up going from Goff to Stafford. Level up. Well, we were like,
Definitely tell when he went to Detroit.
It didn't come up in the news conference that we aired, at least. I didn't see any quotes about it. Brockers then gets traded to the Lions, so now he's got to face Jared Goff after saying Stafford was a level up. Brockers meeting with the media just talked about that. I'll tell you what he said at 11:50. It's Carson Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket.
Are you considering pawning or selling something just to get some extra cash, but you're not quite sure how to do it? Here's how you do it. Talk to American Jewelry and Loan. They just made it easier for you because now you can book an appointment to pawn or to sell at any of their 5 Metro Detroit locations. Simply schedule your appointment online by visiting pawndetroit.com and selecting Book an Appointment. You'll see the selection, the location, the day, and time that's most convenient for you, and it's just that easy. When you arrive for your appointment, you'll meet with a sales loan associate who's going to help you through the entire process, answering any question that you have along the way. It's just another reason why American Jewelry and Loan is the best place to get extra cash. And with a pawn loan, it is a low-interest loan. You don't have to meet with the banks. There's no credit check, none of that stuff. There's no embarrassing parts about it. You bring in an item of value that you're trying to get the cash for. And then when you pay off the loan, you get that item value back. It's really that easy. It's there shouldn't be a stigma about it at all. When you're ready, go ahead and stop in any of their Metro Detroit locations in Detroit, Hazen Park, Pontiac. Now they're open also in Southgate. That's on Eureka Road, and also at Lincoln Park at 4th Street. Or you can check them out, as we said, at pawndetroit.com.
You have $1 million home? I got $1 million buyers lined up. Hi, it's Mark Z with EXP.
This Radio.com Sports Minute is brought to you by Paulson's Audio and Video.
This is David Amendolara with your Radio.com Sports Minute, sponsored by DraftKings, America's top-rated daily fantasy app. How about that opening weekend of March Madness? Brackets busted, dreams dashed. But oh, how fun it was to watch the carnage. We had a 1 seed go down. Illinois falls to little in-state Loyola Chicago. Boy, the Ramblers deserve better than an 8 seed, huh? They got a 2 seed bounce in their opening game. Ohio State, bye-bye. The Threes, 2 of them already toast. Texas takes it to the bovine mug by Abilene Christian, and West Virginia gets lost in the Syracuse zone. 4 seeds,
Watch
Virginia
freeway.
melted down against Ohio, meaning another early Wahoo's exit. 2021 really is a return to normalcy. And Purdue, who seem to have built-in home court advantage, dropped by North Texas. If your bracket is busted, fear not. Join everyone in America. This is Gaming. I'm out.